Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our conjunction video, and today we are going to be covering the Sun and Mars conjunction and what happens when you have this conjunction in your horoscope. Now, as I said before last week, there's a lot of things that go into studying a conjunction. It's not just as simple as having this one meaning. And obviously I have written a book on this called Conjunction at the Speed of Light, where I cover 2 all the way to 8 planetary conjunctions in one book, and you can find that book here at this link, where all my other books are, Aspects in Astrology at the Speed of Light, including the new magazine on career and destiny and all the new options for consultations. But today's conjunction is on Sun and Mars, and obviously this could be one of the last times you might see me in this background, because next week it might be a better background. You never know. You might actually see a golf course beginning from next week, because from my backyard you'll see the golf course, because as you know, I'm moving to a new place way up north, but it's time for a better change, and especially with my growing family, with second one on the way, so I need a bigger place. So anyway, Sun and Mars conjunction. Well, what is Sun? Sun represents your soul, your personality, your ego, your self-esteem. It is your inner higher morals that you come here with in this life. Sun is also a very hot planet. Well, it is a star, but in astrology it's considered a planet. And Sun is also considered a mild malefic, because it is hot. Wherever it sits, it can burn some significance of that house. So this is why nobody's life is perfect, because they've got Sun somewhere in their house, burning some of the significance of those houses. And Sun is also a Sattvic planet. Why is it Sattvic? Because Sattvic meaning it has Brahman qualities. It has very highest of morals of qualities, because it gives you life. It is a life giver. And then you have Mars. Well, what is Mars? Mars is another hot planet. It is the god of war. Mars represents your strength, your willpower, your self-esteem. It represents your courage, and it is a planet related to wars and fights and just hot calamities. So when these 2 planets come together in one horoscope, what happens is, especially if you have this conjunction in your 12th, 1st or 2nd house, this person is a completely hot-headed person. They have this fire brewing inside of them, like Pitta energy, fire energy. And they have to, what happens is, it's like a volcano. It builds up and they must let it out through some source. If they don't, their hot volcano can erupt on you. So they're very hot-headed people. And the thing is, with Sun-Saturn conjunction, they are very driven people. They are very competitive people. They want to go out there and they want to compete and they want to win the war. Why? Because remember, Sun is the king. Mars is the general. He's the soldier. He represents the war zone. So when these 2 energy comes together, and whichever house this energy is placed in, you are going to be willing to take risk towards those house. You're going to be competitive towards that house. You're going to win each and every battle towards that house. So let's say if you have this in your 3rd house, what's going to happen is you're one of those people who gets into power struggles with their siblings, and you want to dominate them and win that war no matter what. Whether you're 60 years old, whether you're 20 years old, there will be different types of power struggles. Early on, you can be in games and sports. You want to be competitive with them. You know, if this is happening in your 5th house, you're going to be competitive in your studies. You're not going to let anybody else get the best grade except you. You're going to make your children very competitive. You're going to make sure that they know that the world is very competitive. But one of the most unique things that I've found with this conjunction, and this is especially from my experience of, you know, doing career consultations for people, is that whenever I found this conjunction in a person's chart, they were always driven towards entrepreneurship. They were always driven to lead and to be in the world of business. Why is it that this conjunction is specifically very good for business? Well, one of the most common things with this conjunction is the ability to take risk and ability to compete. These people cannot live without competition. They need competition. They need the competitive drive to drive them. And when it comes to business, these people have the ability to beat the competition, to beat the other businesses, to market aggressively there, and, you know, go out there and take all kinds of risks to win that battle. And this is just simply from my own observation. Every person that I did who had this conjunction, especially in, you know, Kendra houses, these guys either wanted to be IAS officers, government people, soldiers, or most of them were like, look, I cannot take my work environment. I need to let myself out and I need to be in a leadership position. I need to do business. I want to do business. I cannot live without business. And this is one of the most powerful conjunctions you'll find in people who are successful in business. And this is why I always also emphasizing on my Facebook that, yeah, I'm going to do this conjunction versus the other conjunction that I was asking, because this is very important in terms of people who want to do business. Because this, you got two hot planets who are very good friends with each other, and whichever house they sit in, they don't get into war zone with each other. That's the good thing about this. You know, Sun and Saturn and other planetary conjunctions with Mars may produce a different results. Here, the Sun and the King and the Soldier are together in one house. So what is their main agenda? Their main agenda, hey, I am the king, you're my soldier, let's win this battle. So this becomes a very positively fired conjunction. This is not the conjunction that will lead to, you know, somebody killing. Obviously, anybody can kill, anybody can do negative things in their life. But what this conjunction always produces in a normal scenario, because I don't think 99% of the world is out there wanting to murder other people, and people have this conjunction. These people simply want to be a leader in life, and especially towards the house that they control. The house that this conjunction is in, those are the kind of businesses you want to be in. Those are the kind of fields you're going to want to go to. Like in the 3rd house, these are the most competitive marketing people, PR people, journalists. These are investigative journalists. You know, if you go towards social media business nowadays, because now we have to consider social media as part of marketing. And I actually had this, somebody like just a couple of weeks ago, they were like SEO, what is that? Search engine optimization, and they had their own business. And this guy was all about wanting to be number one on Google. They were all about wanting his business, his marketing business to be there, and he was doing all the right things. And he was driven since the very young age towards information. He was very aggressive towards gathering information. That's 3rd house. So he went towards that business. So this is a very important conjunction in terms of being extremely competitive and winning any kind of battle, whether you're working under someone or you're doing your own business. You know, even like, let's say if this conjunction is occurring in the 10th house, in a certain sign, in a certain nakshatra, these guys can actually make some of the great government employees. And some countries emphasize government jobs more than the private jobs, like in India. In India, the highest status comes from a government job. Everybody's out there wanting to be, you know, IAS officer and all sorts of officers. And this conjunction in a particular nakshatra and particular sign can be the most potent conjunction for you to go out there and serve as the government employee and win all kinds of competitive exams, win all kinds of, interviews and competition. So each house would be very aggressively dealt with. In 7th house, I have seen with people who are meant to do business. They're like, their whole concentration is on business. But these are the people who should not have business partnerships, because they will run into power struggles. Because when 2 hot planets are in one house and then you bring a third energy of another person, and they might have certain other planets and energies, these will collide. So there's always this power struggle in business and business partnerships. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to any kind of athletic ability or ability to go out there and put yourself on the line to achieve a goal, this is one of the most powerful conjunction. Like Mars and Saturn will produce a different conjunction as well, but it won't hold the same meaning as this conjunction. Here you've got you got a leader and a follower coming together. In some other conjunction, you'll have 2 leaders coming together, and they just cannot stand that. In this conjunction, one is willing to give orders, the other is willing to follow. So what happens is your soul says, I want to follow this. I want to achieve this goal. Well, guess what your willpower is doing? That is conjunct the sun, Mars. All right, let's do it. I'm going to do whatever it takes, even if I have to go on the streets, live on the streets, sleep on the streets for a month, a year, I will do it, but I'm going to achieve this goal. This is why this is one of the most beautiful conjunctions out there. But obviously, depending upon the sign and nakshatra, they will have a different meaning. Now, here's the thing. As you know, in astrology, especially when it comes to conjunction, and you'll read this in my book, planet that holds the lowest degree will have the most say in the conjunction. And you also have to see how far apart they are. So let's say if Sun is at 1 degree, Mars is at 25 degrees. They're not really conjunct. But the thing is, their energy is still in the same house. So it still affects a person, but it affects it differently. They're like, if it's in the 10th house, their soul is saying, okay, I want status, I want this. And then Mars is saying, I want to be competitive out in the world. But these 2 energies may not work together. Like the soul wants one direction, willpower wants one direction. If they're under, let's say, 15 degrees or 10 degrees, that's when this becomes, that conjunction where soul is commanding and the willpower is going towards that order. Now, the thing is, if your Mars has the lowest degrees, what will happen is this person will become extremely egoistic. And their power struggles will be with each and every aspect of that house. So one house can represent different things. 5th house represents your children, your second younger brother. It can represent your friends as well in school. So there will be this power struggle with them. You're going to want to compete. Your ego will be developed only when you compete. Your ego will not develop through other means. It'll be like, okay, how can I feel so proud out here and go into the world and feel normal? Well, I'm going to have to compete and beat somebody. I have to have this, I have to win something in order to do it. And this can end up into a very fighting-like nature. Like this person can actually, as a young kid, you'll see, if he doesn't win, he will come and hit you with his toy and start crying and be agitated, because Mars here is not feeling that. Mars here is holding the lowest degrees. The ego is being pushed to compete, and when you don't win, the ego gets hurt. So that's what happens. But what happens when Sun holds the lowest degrees? That means Sun has the lowest degrees, and then the Mars is on top. What happens is this person wants to accelerate their willpower and their stamina, their strength, by being a leader. These are the people who can actually work in a partnership environment. They can actually work in an environment where they have employees. Sure, they're hot-headed, but what they are great leaders. They simply don't jump to conclusions. Like with Mars with the lowest degree, they will be very quick to decide, very quick to get in anger. very quick to be stubborn. Like, oh no, this is the decision I made and I am going to stick to this decision. I don't care what my board says. When Sun holds the lowest degrees, he'll be like, okay, I want to win this battle. I want to buy this company out. Let me take the suggestion of people, because I need to not only win this battle, but I am a leader of these people and I have to provide to these people. So this becomes a far better conjunction for somebody who is, you know, wanting to work with other people and be a leader for them. When Mars is at the bottom, these people are very good in being an athlete, being a police officer, being a soldier, a government worker, because they have that sense of duty then. And with Mars here, if it holds the lowest degree, they can definitely, you know, work alone in business, and they'll be just as successful. But these are the little syncrasies that you have to look for to see, you know, who holds the lowest degrees, how far apart they're. All of these things will matter. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of Sun and Mars conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below, because I cover conjunctions every week. And if you want to know where your conjunctions are in your horoscope, if you have Mars and Sun conjunction, where they're placed, all my books, consultations for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday with our Ashlesha Nakshatra. Otherwise, bye-bye.